One quiet morning, I poured myself a cup of coffee and recalled a conversation with a friend who had just finished reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. He said, instead of demanding overnight change, the book reveals how tiny improvements can silently steer the course of our lives. The first story took me to England in 2003. The British national cycling team had been mediocre for over a century. The new coach, Dave Brailsford, didn't preach toughness or grueling training. He focused on seemingly trivial details, redesigning the bike seat for comfort, warming up shoes before rides, cleaning tires with alcohol for better grip. Each improvement was only 1%, but together they became a massive force. In the 2008 Beijing Olympics, the team dominated the track and collected more gold medals than ever before. When I closed the book, one message rang clear. 1% better today leads to 37 times improvement in a year. Next came the story of two people trying to quit smoking. When offered a cigarette, the first replied, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." The second said, "No thanks, I don't smoke." Same refusal, but with two different identities. James Clear calls this identity-based habits. When you see yourself as a healthy person, your actions naturally follow. But if you're only trying, your old self always lingers nearby. The author then took me further into psychologist Edward Thorndike's lab. A cat was locked in a box with a lever that opened the door. At first, it scratched around aimlessly. Eventually, it stepped on the lever and escaped. With each attempt, the cat learned faster. Thorndike's experiments revealed the habit loop: cue, craving, response, and reward. Remove one part, and the habit falls apart. That same habit loop was cleverly used by Dr. and Thorndike at Massachusetts General Hospital. No fancy slogans. She simply moved water bottles to be more visible in the cafeteria, alongside soda. In 3 months, water sales surged, soda dropped, all without anyone noticing. I realized then, the environment often beats willpower. If you want to eat fruit, place it at eye level. If you want to avoid chips, store them out of reach. My favorite part was the winter of 1830. Victor Hugo owed his publisher a manuscript for The Hunchback of Notre Dame, but kept procrastinating. With the deadline looming, Hugo gathered all his clothes, locked them in a chest, and handed the key to his assistant. Stripped of any option to go out, he had no choice but to write. 2 weeks before the due date, the novel was done. It turns out, making bad choices impossible can be simple, like putting your phone in another room or canceling your food delivery app. Finally, James Clear told of a young Benjamin Franklin who carried a small notebook listing 13 personal virtues. Each evening, Franklin would review it, noting which habits he kept and which he didn't. That simple habit tracker gave instant satisfaction and motivation to repeat the process. I tried this myself, drawing tiny check boxes on my calendar. Each check became a small piece of a much bigger success puzzle. The lessons from those 5 stories were crystal clear. First, consistent tiny improvements lead to exponential results. Don't ignore that 1% gain. Second, start from within. Know who you want to become, and the habits will follow. Third, design your environment to support the habits you want. Make good cues obvious, bad ones invisible. Fourth, make progress feel good. Use checklists, praise, or the light feeling of finishing something difficult. As the book ended, one question opened up. What small change can you make today to become a better version of yourself tomorrow? James Clear's answer is simple. It starts now with just one tiny habit.